Let's take a look at how we can use factoring to solve equations. If I have 0 on one side of an equation, I can factor the other side and then simplify the equation. This happens to be the difference of two squares, so it factors as 2x minus 5 times 2x plus 5. And we can see that that works because 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. 5 times negative 5 gives me negative 25. And we do get a middle term, but what happens is that 2x times positive 5 is 10x, and negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x, so they cancel each other out. Now, the principle of zero product says the only way I can have two things that multiply together and equal 0 is if one of those actually equals 0. So this becomes 2x minus 5 equals 0, or 2x plus 5 equals 0. From the first equation, we can solve that. We get 2x equals 5, which means that x equals 5 over 2, or 2.5. And from the second, we get 2x equals negative 5, which means that x could possibly equal, and another solution would be x equals negative 5 over 2. This technique works if we have 0 on one side of the equation. So if I want to solve something that looks like 6x squared minus 9 equals 5x, I first want to subtract, equals 15x. I first want to subtract the 15x to the other side. And now a couple things. You might notice that all of these are divisible by 3. If not, we can still do the method that I'm about to talk about. But we could factor out a 3. That leaves behind a 2x squared minus 5, x minus 3. And dividing both sides by 3, since 3 is just a number, I can divide both sides by 3. 0 divided by 3 is still 0, so an equivalent equation, the solutions are going to be the same as the solutions to this much simpler equation. And now what I'm looking for is a pair of factors that adds to equal negative 6. Negative 6 comes from 2 times negative 3. I want a pair of factors that adds to equal negative 6, that multiplies to equal negative 6 and adds to equal negative 5. So we can think of some options, 1 times 6 or 2 times 3 are where we can look at. Because I want a negative 6, I need one of the factors to be negative. So 1 times negative 6 is going to add up to be negative 5. So I could write this as 2x squared minus 6x plus 1x minus 3. And then we can factor this by grouping. I can factor out a 2x from the first pair, and that leaves behind an x minus 3. I can factor out, well, kind of nothing from the second pair, but I can put a 1 as a placeholder, and x minus 3 is left behind. And I'm off the screen, sorry about that. So now we can gather together the x minus 3, and the other factor is 2x plus 1, which means that just as above, the solutions come from x minus 3 equals 0 and 2x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals 3 is a solution from that first equation. Solving for x in the second equation, we get x equals negative 1/2. Because I would want to subtract 1 to the other side and then divide by 2. So we could group those solutions together with curly braces to write a list of numbers. Or we could write it just that way. And that's our solution. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.